I was reborn on the day my younger sister and I were selecting our husbands. That's when I discovered something even more bizarre. I could hear people's thoughts. It started faintly. My sister smiled sweetly, but in my head, I heard, "This time I'm going to snatch the best man before she does." She reached out and clung to the arm of the man I had married in my past life, gentle, elegant Noah Sinclair, leaving me with the cold and feared elder brother, Damien Sinclair. The same man who had tormented her in our previous life. I chuckled inwardly. She still thinks Noah is the better choice? Once again, we sat at that familiar dining table. Across from us were two men, Damien Sinclair, the heir of the Sinclair Empire, silent and unreadable, and Noah, his polite, soft-spoken half-brother. Then her thoughts echoed again. This time, I'll take him first. I won't be humiliated again. That's when it clicked. I wasn't the only one who had returned from the dead. My sister, Claire, had been reborn too. She leaned forward with sparkling eyes and said, "Hi, I'm Claire Dawson. I really like you." My father didn't hesitate. "Elena, since your sister has chosen Noah, you'll marry Damien." Claire's eyes gleamed with triumph. I heard the sneer in her mind. Let her deal with the monster this time. In our previous life, Claire had married Damien. People said she was lucky to marry into the most powerful family in the city. But what they didn't know was that Damien was cold to the core. He never touched her. Eventually, she became the laughingstock of high society. The family matriarch, Madame Sinclair, accused her of being barren and kicked her out. Meanwhile, I had lived a dream life with Noah. He was attentive, romantic, always knew what I needed. Until Damien died unexpectedly, and Noah inherited everything. That's when Claire's envy reached its peak. One afternoon, she drove her car straight into me. We both died. That's how it ended. And now, here we were again. "All right," I said calmly, "I actually prefer Damien." I walked to Damien's side and sat down. He didn't flinch. His aura was sharp and unapproachable. It made my skin prickle. No wonder Claire was so terrified of him. But when I tried to read his mind, there was nothing. Silence. Noah, on the other hand, smiled gently at Claire, and I heard, "Such a pretty little puppet." I shivered. Acting on instinct, I grabbed Damien's hand. It was surprisingly warm. He turned to look at me, his eyes filled with warning. I let go. Still, I felt safer next to this so-called devil than I ever had beside Noah. This time, I wasn't going to play the fool. I would build my own life. Make my own money. Trust no one. Our weddings were held on the same day, just like before. Last time, Damien didn't even show up. Noah had swept me off my feet and made a scene of it, earning everyone's praise. And again, history repeated itself. And again, history repeated itself. Noah arrived first, dressed in white. He lifted Claire into his arms and kissed her in front of the cameras. Claire turned to me, expecting to see jealousy on my face. But I wasn't the same Elena anymore. She didn't know how her wedding would fall apart in the days ahead. How Madame Sinclair would call her undignified and disrespectful. How she would lose all standing in the family. I took the microphone and said calmly, "Damien had to handle urgent business. I'll give the toasts on his behalf." The room quieted. Even Madame Sinclair glanced at me with interest. In a family like the Sinclairs, appearances mattered more than anything. A proper daughter-in-law had to be poised, unshakable. Claire's smile faltered. In her mind, I heard, "Ugh, disgusting. Just wait for the tea ceremony. I'll crush you." I smirked to myself. This power, it's like cheating at life. At the tea ceremony, I gracefully moved forward to serve Madame Sinclair. Claire narrowed her eyes and counted silently. 1, 2, 3. I shifted slightly, and Claire tripped, spilling scalding tea all over herself. Oh no. Noah rushed to help her. "Are you hurt?" But his thoughts betrayed him. Such a klutz. The room was dead silent. Madame Sinclair frowned. You can't even serve tea properly. Do you call that a daughter-in-law? I didn't mean to, Claire stammered. But the fire in her eyes was blazing. If she had just behaved and accepted her fate, maybe I would have left her alone. But since she still wanted to fight me, I wouldn't go easy. After the ceremony, Madame Sinclair came to me personally. Elena, she said, surprisingly kind, I'll make sure Damien comes home tonight. He should at least show respect for his bride. True to her word, that evening, Damien walked in. He looked tired, unbothered. I greeted him with a smile and helped him with his coat. He gave me a curious glance but said nothing. In our last life, he never returned on the wedding night. Claire had cried for hours, only to be scolded the next morning by the entire family. I prepared the guest bed for myself and left the main one for Damien. When he came out of the shower in a silk robe, droplets clinging to his well-sculpted chest, I quickly looked away. You take the bed, I told him. I'll sleep on the couch. He raised an eyebrow. Trying to play innocent? I shook my head. This is a marriage of strategy, not emotion. I'm not interested in playing games. He smirked. Smart girl. That was the first time I saw a flicker of respect in his eyes. And just like that, the game began again. But this time I would be the one writing the rules. If you enjoy this story, please do well to subscribe, comments, like and share to get more interesting stories like this on my channel.